Yeah, I just wonder if there's a thing about not having a coach because Yago Dora's dropped his coach this year, world number one. Molly dropped her coach, world number one.
Welcome to the Insiders Audio Nights. Matthew Hayes, bugs, insects, lots of mosquitoes, for example, summertime, water. We're with you here tonight because lots of reasons, apart from the fact that we just like talking. And Tim Bonython, if you know how to say his name correctly, Matthew, I'll give you $5. I don't know if that's how you say it.
I think
Dropped a part one and part two edit on the swell that hit before the comp last week. And I think it's got merit for an episode on itself, just for world breaking surfing. Just like what sort of a sport is it watching that? That's 45 to 50 minutes, two times 24 listeners. Do yourself a favor. I don't think you'll regret it.
I don't think they'll regret it either. I also think that is exactly how you pronounce his name, Tim Bonython, and I think so. The part one and part two edit that we are referring to is called Liquid Thunder, which I think is a really apt name as well for the the content that's in the video. Um, yeah, is it's one of those ones where you watch it and you're like, like maybe it should have a different name because is that surfing or I don't know, like it's so different to 2 Foot Huntington, but
It's
obviously
another, it's another sport. It's another sport, full stop. It's another sport.
it's like I don't know, but what it is incredibly gripping. Um, kind of there's a beauty in the simplicity of his edit as well. Like it's not,
He's incredible.
yeah,
I think he's one of the best cinematographers in the world. He's so unassuming. I think he's got such an inside connection with all these guys because he's been doing it for so many years. I think his dad was in media. I read a lot about him a couple of years ago when I started watching Swell Hunters is his channel, I think it's called. It's just honestly, I think personally blows Nathan and the others. That's how much I rate him out of the water, just because of the fact that that's someone filming other people instead of
yeah,
filming themselves. The first thing I wanted to unpack on those two things is unpack a new age wanky dory sort of way to say things. I don't know, so I'll unpack it anyway. I just want to keep saying unpack for a while. Griff for me now, I've got him as best surfer in the world. I don't know anyone that can do what at the moment at his level in his age rank that can do what he can do from 2 foot to borderline 15 foot plus, left
yeah.
and right.
I I would pump the brakes slightly, because I think that John's been doing that for years. But what I would
Yeah, but
say
I
is,
think Griff's maybe got John's number, even though he didn't beat him at Trestles.
what I would say is fun. We haven't actually spoken about this like separately, so this is the first time we're dissecting these edits, talking to each other. And
That's
weirdly,
why I'm throwing it at you, bro.
yeah, and weirdly, one of the big takeaways I had was Griff about how I guess before I watched this, and maybe like especially this season, I categorize there's some surfers that to me I don't really resonate with because I only see Italo surfing in World Tour events. So to me, I know he does surf, obviously he does, but like to me it's like he only surfs for competitions. But like this edit and a few of the others that have come out this year with Griff, it's definitely put him in that box of like it's put him in that John box of he puts out the best edits and the best clips and the best free surf parts, as well as being like top five guy on tour. Um, like I kind of wish I would see a bit more of Ethan doing a bit more of what Griff's done, like outside of the jersey, like kind of thing. So definitely, I that's one of the takeaways I had from this Liquid Thunder.
It was good to see. It was really good to see him. There was only a few little clips, but still, it was good to see Leo, who
Yeah,
I've known him forever, and I just know that he's just an absolute. Like Geordie said it a lot this year because people there was like Geordie train because it was so interesting the fact that he won a couple of events, etc. That he's a surf rocker. Well, it's the same thing with Leo. He's just a surf rocker. I've seen him the other week just out in front of Stano on a 2 foot little running right, and I've gone out north with all these clients and had a bit of fun. And as I was walking up the beach, I was thinking like, who is that? I was like, geez, the grommets here. The same thing happened to me the other year in Ericeira because at this random peak I saw Kanoa. And when you see surfing like that, you realise. And then I saw Leo's soon-to-be wife up in the car park, Sophie, and said hello. And there's a definite gap between them and even the best guy in any country. And the fact that that was 10 days before he's paddling into 15 footers, and he got towed into a couple too, which is
yeah,
unreal. And Jack, obviously Jack, but it doesn't surprise us, Jack, at all. Like it doesn't surprise me seeing Jack and it doesn't necessarily surprise me Griffin because they're such a charger, but it's a little bit more, you think, if you see Jack not do it, you'd be surprised.
yeah, yeah, very much so. And Jack got a few hell ones. Seth got a few sick ones as well. It was only a couple or one or two of him in there, but if I'd have seen that before the event, I might have changed my team around a little bit and probably put Seth into my team and stuff. But like, um, yeah, Leo. Yeah, I mean, Leo loves it, doesn't he? I mean, even like he was surfing Waimea Bay earlier this year and stuff like right at the beginning of the year. Um, you can
And
tell.
last year, I think it was before the Olympics or before the comp, he got a free session out there at Chopu at 10 foot.
Yeah, yeah. So it, I mean, it was good. It's good to see the World Tour guys doing it in free surfs because, like I say, sometimes it's always like sometimes the free surfs out there. It's always where it's swell like that. You can call who it's going to be. It's going to be a Mayo. It's going to be um, Cowley, obviously, and
Well, I think we got to get to them. We got to have it in two parts. Like for me, for example, as a cake, if you're eating the cake, the CT guys are just this tiny little slice of that cake. Where I think we've mentioned them now. Now we can move on to the next slice of the cake, which, for example, would be Aileen Vast and is it Gomet,
yeah,
the
Izzy
American girl?
Gomez. Yep, yep,
Okay, kick off with them two.
yeah. I mean, the one that Izzy Gomez got. I was like holding my breath that whole wave because she's like outrunning it at first. The real one that she or the good one she got. She's like outrunning it at first, and you can see her trying to stall, and then I thought she'd put too much like I thought she'd put the brakes on too much and put herself in a bad place, and then she like had a little jink and then came out, and I was like, shit, like that must have been scary. Like,
At first, I thought that wave of hers was Aileen Vast because I thought she was the only girl like out there, naively. And then I'd heard her name before, maybe. I think she got invited to the Eddie. I'm not 100% sure. And I had a bit of a detective stalk on her Instagram. And like she's not maybe CT, but she fully rips frontside, backside, and
yeah,
and looks really smooth. There's a couple of really super smooth little clips on her on mid lengths, and like now I'm not going to get lost down this rabbit hole, but I've sent you little links before of this a bunch of kooks that are in Nazare trying to say, yeah, of course they're just doing it for the fun, for the love, and also for Instagram following and looking for sponsors and all that crap. Because it's if they were just doing it for the love, they'd then be there as well. Like they're just at the big fat burger having a crack because they're in Europe. where that, oh my God, that wave she gives is just radical.
Yeah. Yeah, she's cool. She's actually weirdly linked. Like I saw her new range of Roxy stuff that's coming out, and she's done a really cool
I
design.
saw that.
It looks sick. Yeah, she's sick. Like, uh,
Fantastic person to sponsor.
yeah, and I think she's kind of going down that Laura Enever train. Like, where obviously Laura was on tour and can rip a shortboard, like she does, but she like I think Izzy has said she really wants to like push the
And
big wave.
interesting that she's obviously Red Bull there, so I'm pretty sure that was Chianca brother, what's his name? Lucas
Yeah,
Chianca that tied her into that.
yeah,
They've done well, Red Bull, the way they've just got a team of absolute, like, Leo's Red Bull too. So it's it's easy to say they've got a team there. They got a team where other of the surfers will say, well, hey, Leo's on our team too. Let's
yeah,
get him on jet ski, mate,
exactly. Yeah,
because you're kind of part of the same family. If you
yeah.
scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and wow, man,
And
that's
Jack
just
Robbo.
and Jack Robber, exactly. There you go. And obviously they were there. They full on wanted to have a dig. Which brings me then, okay, because we said the word fast. You saw Cowley's little brother.
Yeah, being towed in by
Hey,
a Cowley.
that's it. Doesn't even look like a wave.
Yeah, so I don't know if you heard the interview that Cowley done, but basically that day he gave up. He was like, oh,
He
I'll
didn't surf.
yeah, he gave up the his surfs to whip his brother and his sister in.
It's insane. It's unreal, isn't it?
The Yeah, can you imagine your ski driver as well having that good? I mean, I know a lot of ski drivers have good reads on it as well, but Cowley's got that place dialed as dialed can be. And then so if he says go, the confidence you must have, like even if it doesn't look like a good run, you're like, oh, he knows. Like
Well, that's his big brother. That's his big brother. You got to think that somewhere it's his hero. It's his big brother. He won the gold medal
yeah,
there.
yeah,
He's
of course.
come second in the comp. Even just at the dinner table, maybe when they were kids, Cowley could eat more chili sauce on his fish, whatever. So he's always, if they're a good classic family, they've got a tight relationship to start with. But that thing's like two car parks on top of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have just put the ski in it and been in there with him on that. Like he could have just been all three of them could have just been in there just having that chili sauce and fish because it was huge and wide and square and scary. Um I'm pretty sure Emily was a bit worried when I was watching it because I was making all sorts of noises as if like I was in trouble just watching it. The other thing I was going to mention because weirdly just before I watched the clip that you sent me, I saw Kai Lenny had posted um, a clip on his Instagram where it was like, "How long is a Chopu hold down?" And basically, he's on a wave and he jumps off, and he comes up and he's underwater for 13 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And
That's a long time in that sort of turbulence.
I was about to say there were some comments going 13 seconds. I can hold my breath for like minutes and stuff. I was like, yeah, try holding your breath for 13 seconds while having 10 of the biggest guys you've ever met stamp all over you. Like,
That's the one where maybe that's the one where you see it's incredible GoPro footage from inside the barrel,
yeah,
but it just sees too deep. It's pretty rad. I only then saw the front side view of it on Tim's thing.
it literally looks like a cliff appears in front of him and then collapses in front of him. Like
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it is
It's
massive.
imagine what it looked for that kid. What's his name? Is it Nike?
Uh,
Kelly Bass.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, I think it sounds like Nike or Nike. Yeah,
So then well, I noticed, and he can get rabbit hole's another word. I've already used it once. Let's say use it again, which is Instagram. So I just wanted because I always check out. I think it's interesting to check out the number of followers, not because It's like that's the importance of someone, but obviously that's a
It's a
metric.
metric, yeah,
It's a metric that people are using, and you can look at, like, for example, Ronaldo's got the most in the world apart from Instagram itself, and Emio is now sitting up on 400 plus K. So, like before, for example, he couldn't even get a sponsor or whatever. He was there charging and everything. Now there's not going to be many people on top of him in metrics. There'll be obviously Gabrielle, Kelly, Mick. There can't be Coco Ho. She's pretty heavily stacked, isn't she?
yeah.
We
There's a
spoke about
few.
the other Moniz sister a year or so, but 450K. He's got Tenore, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah. So now I noticed also in his little, what do you call it, BO and stuff, he's got an agent, which he should have, and he's
yeah.
classed as is it a, tell me if you're looking at performance artist. I think it's really well written. Have a look at
I was
Enio's.
I was just double checking because I was going to say Italo's 3 million, and
Oh, wow. Yeah, well,
uh,
he's also a world champ, huh? Enio's a free server.
yeah, and do you know who also has got a ridiculous number?
Who's that? Ben Grady.
Alana Blanchard,
Alana Bancho, yeah. How many she got?
1.6 mil.
We see these people are literally living on it. So what is Enio's? What do you call it again?
It says sports person in his bio.
It's
And
something else as well.
well, it's got it's got his manager's email in there.
Yeah, but what does it say next to that?
It literally just says Emeo says Mac, sports person from Tahiti, Tenore, and then business.
No, there's a thing there. Let me tell you. When I see it, I thought it was really well um, phrased from whoever did it. Most probably his agent, Emio. I'll tell you. Oh no, that's his business, right? That's his agent. It's influential artist management because that's what
Yeah,
he is.
yeah,
He is literally an influential artist. Because if you're looking at surf, which is art, which it which really it is, a lot of people want to. They can be athletes as well. They can be both. But the technical, like he's in that Tim thing. Some of it we know, like the drops he does. They don't look real. I mean, it doesn't matter if he can do a 360 air, does he? He doesn't have to. They're not going to post him. And maybe once a year they're going to put him on that little right on the inside somewhere of Tahiti as a little fun right. But what's the point when once a month you can drop a death-defying? It's like people. There's that Madison girl who swam with gigantic sharks, and she's got the Netflix.
yeah,
It's just so captivating. You don't have to do anything else. Let's just hope he can navigate the next 10 years healthily.
yeah. I mean, and I would say that there's like it's a way to build that. Like I see it in the same light as what Mason Ho done with when he for a couple of years all he was known for was surfing next to rocks or over rocks.
Yeah. Well, there you go. If Emio can't make a living out of surfing, what's the point
Yeah,
of Instagram, or what's, like, obviously the point is it's unreal to surf those sort of waves. They do it, and he most probably does it as well. I'm pretty sure he does do it just because he has to do it. He's broken his back twice. But the fact that, like, if you can climb down a cliff like Alex Honnold, he can climb up 1,000 meters vertically. It's worth, I think that I'd rather them have money than a banker,
yeah.
than a capital. What do they call them? A venture capitalist.
I think that
Put them
that's
in jail and let's pay him out.
I think that's what's the great side of social media is that there's people I know who don't surf and don't know anything about surfing, right? But they saw the Medina kick out at the Olympics and they've seen clips of this last Chopu swell because it made it into their social media feed, and then they see it and it is captivating. The same way as I've seen different sports. I mean, I follow a lot of sports, so it's hard to say that, but I see different aspects of different sports via social media purely because it like kind of comes with that algorithm, and that's the beauty of it. And the beauty of it that in a place like Tahiti and someone like a Mayo and some of the other guys and girls there who have dedicated their lives to surfing that wave, they are now able to make a
And they're putting their lives on the
li
line.
yeah, and they're able to make a living from it, which which is a like you hear a lot of shit about social media, and fairly probably, but like this is a major plus point about social media is that you can people now in a remote location can earn a living that isn't, like
Exactly. He's in a remote location. He can't travel the world. He's never going to get top 1,000 on the QS, but he can do what no one else can do.
yeah,
And I've been 1 meter away. We were very lucky in 2000, I think it was 99. No, 99. I've been 1 meter away from some of Van Gogh's best ever paintings. There was this exposition at the Petit Palais, which is at the bottom of the Champs-Elysees. It was when I was living up there and my wife was studying at the uni. And we went to this, there was free museums on Sunday. And we went to a Van Gogh exposition. And it's one of the best days of my life, I tell you. Like, there was no one in there. And it was only a little museum. So there was like about 30 Van Goghs. And I think it was the one where he painted in an afternoon, maybe about a month before he died, and it's kind of got, I couldn't tell you, but let's say so you can understand 1,000 paint strokes, right? You know, the Van Gogh style, it's really, really thick brush strokes. Now you look at this thing, he did it in an afternoon, one sitting. It's it's better than AI could do. It's ridiculous, and that's a human brain. And the fact that we can see it and you can sit down, this was 150 years later, and there's kids that will look at some of Emio's drops and you can just, and I've done it and you've done it, you just look at them over and over again and you
yeah,
can come back and just go, wow, look at that. And it's worth something.
yeah. The worst thing about that is, sometimes when you see like a Van Gogh or a bit of art, sometimes I sit and go, I could do that, right? As a joke, right? All right, I could do that. There's not one part of me that looks at the drop that a Mayo does and goes, I can do that.
No, but there's not one drop of you that can look at a Van Gogh. You look at something else, like for example, Johann Miro, who is more of a poet, and he'll put one black dot on a big white canvas, and that was his painting. But you got to
But
remember
it's
that.
still, yeah, but it's still like,
Yeah,
those.
he did 5,000 paintings. So that was by the time where he said, okay, I want to say something, not just with my painting. He was
Yeah,
creating a point that the one black dot, when there's only one thing in the room, it becomes the center of attention. But that by itself
yeah.
in his portfolio of art means nothing. Just like one drop. For example, if Emio only did one of them in the year, he wouldn't be. It took him, how many did it take him to get to his now at his 425,000? It took
With
him a
break his back,
ton.
is that to break his back
Two
twice?
breaking backs. Huh? And what about, okay, so next on the rank of all time core lord surfing, like upper echelons, Matahi Drole.
Yeah. Well, there's the three of them, isn't there? There's Ameo, Mitahi, and there's a brother, isn't it? He's got a younger brother as well.
How was his dad? It was his dad was who was in
Oh,
the end of the video, and
yeah,
Gilbert, little Gilbert.
that Gilbert guy. I you it's hard to pick between those. Like it's bonkers what they're doing. Um, it's hard to really even like fully comprehend it as well.
Did you see? You saw the one where, for example, it became smaller at the end, which turned into an actual cave tunnel and got smaller. It started massive and it bent and funneled and got weird, and like a tiny funnel and bended. And Matei came out of the end, and you could see
Yeah,
Stoke because it was like There will never be a wave like that again. That's
Well,
the
this is
thing. Different.
this was what I was going to say is those guys get the perfect ones and the mental ones like, but they were getting. You could tell like I didn't know that was Matahe that actually, but or I didn't remember it was him, but he was more. It seemed he was like more stoked on making a less perfect one because it was like new for him, maybe, or like new for everyone, or
Well, the
weird.
other ones are so massive that you see them when they come out of it, but that one actually
Yeah,
seemed to turn into a funnel. Hey, you know what else was amazing about these two videos was when he would go to Reality GoPro.
yeah,
So it was actually what you would be seeing if you were sitting on the boat without without up close.
yeah,
How far away it all looked and how big, instead of how close it looks when you're in a when the big fisheye.
yeah, and
Rad, isn't it?
yeah. Also, I just freak out about some of the guys that are sat in the channel and
How
they're
close they.
not even how close they are to the surfer, but how close they are to like going over. Like, but they clearly know it and they don't care and stuff. I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, what's going on? Like, but it's sick viewing and it's really well done by Tim and like so glad that he's got it out there. Like we could experience it because like
I'm gonna give it a week or two, watch it again. I thought that obviously there was also I got to mention everyone for people who haven't seen it. So then they if you hear something and then you go, oh, that was it, whatever. When you see it, the Lorenzo guy, because I've heard his name a lot. I met little Gilbert, because he
yeah,
came to France a couple of years ago. He was at the cafe a couple of times because he was hanging with the daughter of the house owner, and he was there with his t-shirt on, like he looks like a garden gnome. I'm telling you, he's only a little fella, solid and everything. And he had no t-shirt on, right? I don't know if I told you about that. And he turned around, and his back looks like kind of. Occasionally, you see in movies where, for example, a slave's been whipped
yeah.
with scars like that, and he's got all these scars on his back. And I said to him, Reef kisses, aren't they? Anyway, yeah, from Teahupoo, bro. Because they talk really slow. They've got a crazy, beautiful accent as well as Tahitians. It's French. And they've all got that. Reef kisses.
If I had that, I'd walk around topless. Just
It's just right.
flexing. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Lucas Chumbo was pretty good too, wasn't he?
Well, and Zhao, but yeah, Lucas
Yeah,
and Zhao
both of them.
just
And that it's a Hawaiian kid. Is it confirmed for me? Jacob Turner? Turner? Did I get his name right?
yes.
Yeah, he gets a lot of waves, doesn't he?
I didn't realize he was Hawaiian. I actually thought he
Yeah.
was Australian.
No.
And because there is something uncharted related I want to mention at the end of this. But yeah, Jacob Turner gets mental ones. And so I thought he was Australian, so I looked him up. And geez, check that guy's Instagram out.
Yeah, he's right.
He is
He's not
so
that old.
no,
He's
no, no.
really not that old. I wonder even if he's 18 yet.
I think he might have just turned, or like I was gonna say 17, 18. Like, and geez, that guy, like, well, what,
I think there's a Californian too that gets
born
towed
in
into a
born
bunch that
in
gets abused.
2007
So that's 3 and
is
15,
18.
18, 18.
Yeah,
That's pretty gnarly.
potentially still 17, but yeah. Um, yeah, he is the
Aileen Vast must only just be 18. But I'm not saying it's easy, but she got towed in where Jacob, a lot of his waves, he's paddled into them.
paddling
He
him. Yeah,
sticks an airdrop, man. A little bit more technical than Felipe's even,
yeah.
because then he's deep inside a 12-foot pit and gets spat
I guess
out.
a little bit bigger as well, wasn't it?
Mm.
Um, yeah, just properly sends it. And what this I didn't realize, but it's him, and he gets a mad pipe wave from this winter. I think it's him. Anyway, but yeah, check his Instagram out, Jacob
It
Turner.
just, I actually did see the cover. not Carl Rothman.
Oh,
He did a
Rothman.
little video on it as well, which was pretty good. He gets
He
some
gets a good
airwaves
wave.
with Eli Olsen and stuff. But I just so much prefer more if you've only got one thing to watch, guys and girls. I so much more prefer Tim's because it's just more from an outside point of view as an action based, and the interview he does with Matahi at the end and Matahi's it's his older brother. That's right, Manoa
That's cool.
Chole. Yeah. It's just this big, massive age difference between them. But the interview he does with Matahi really, really, I think, is impressive on how interesting and calculated and to the camera anyway, humble Matahi is.
Yeah.
Saying that he also seems to have the confidence of a intergalactic warrior.
Fuck, I would if I could do that. I'd literally walk around everywhere with my dick out. Like,
There you go. Well, thank God we're never going to see that. So,
hey, there's
uh,
talking about people that have impressed and stuff. There's this isn't Chopu related. This is the other thing I
no,
was going
no,
to
I was
mention.
going to say, switch on to your world news
Well, it's not world news or anything like that, but we're just talking about people that we've been slightly impressed by or majorly impressed by with this thing and stuff. I'm pretty sure this guy's 14, but he was in Stab High, so he's not super under the radar, but there's this Grom called Loki Cullen. He's Australian, and
from West Australia, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, I
And
think he's from Margie's.
he's already just getting doing the biggest airs, doing hell turns and getting barrels, and he's 14. And it maybe is the first male person for a long time where I've looked at it and gone like, fuck, he could probably be like 18 on the world tour. Like,
Well, it depends if he's doing comps, because I think if it's the
yeah,
same kid, it might be the kid that was getting a couple of the waves of the day at the warm up at the box before the Margaret event. It might be him if you're talking about him. Well, there's got to be someone coming along. Like it's been a while since we've had a generational changer. We've got a lot of it on the girl side with Erin,
yeah,
Katie, Molly, now Tia. The guys, I think it's a fact that the guys mature later. I mean, it's obviously at school, girls mature sooner. Female gymnasts are world class at 14, 15. I don't know. Is it when you've got your
yeah.
adrenaline before you start getting injuries? There's a whole lot of factors leading into that, I guess.
I think that's a real like yeah, it's a solid point. But I would just say to everyone, get like even just follow him on Instagram. His posts and the waves he gets are hellish, and he's only going to do bigger and better. The other couple of things I've watched that I would say are worth watching because people might not. Mateus Hurdy has started a YouTube channel. I think it's called Endless, like the little series he's doing. I actually really enjoy it. It's really cool, and he splits half of it in Brazilian Portuguese and half of it in English and stuff. And it's really cool. I just really like it. It's definitely worth a watch. It's different, and I would recommend it.
I also thought I saw an incredibly humble and unique post by Katie Simmers, which was great, saying thanks and congratulations to Molly, which I think Molly probably from I've noticed in a video, like I think there was an interview in the pool where you get the impression where Molly would just if she could hang all day with Katie because I think it's a lot of people get a little bit flustered in the company of brilliance, which Katie is, and to see Katie give Molly a massive rap on an event she owned, and Katie could have easily got a 10 if she had to come out of that tube, if she had a little bit more luck, but that's what surfing is. But I thought that was unreal. It was not
Yeah,
about herself. It was a great little
it
because
was cool. It
she's just pretty cool.
You just reminded me on our last episode about Chopu, which we done, which was a flash episode. You had to shoot and go get your wash in, and there was a question I wanted to ask you about Molly that I can ask now. which is she's obviously now number one in the world, which she hasn't ever been before at the end of a season, going into the final five and stuff. And it's the first year in a long time that she's not working with a coach. And I personally believe she surfed a lot less heavy this year, like in terms of it feels like she just surfed.
Yeah.
Like, and I
No, she
wonder,
just worked it out. There's a lot of pressure coming on. She was only young too, man. She only got
do
on
you
tour
think
when she was 17 or 18 as well.
do you think having a coach is more pressure as well? Because you've almost got someone else to let down and you
Potentially, hey, same thing. She won that. We were talking about girls. I want to apologize to a lot of girls by saying that they needed to be better in tubes, but it's just what I thought. There is still a lot of girls that are great in tubes. I'm just talking the ones that were on the world tour that could have easily had a crack at that. Is Dog, it seemed like, did we hear correctly that Dog and Gabrielle Bryant split up as a coach athlete? Someone brought that up on the commentary, and she wasn't working with him at Chopu, not even 2 weeks after um,
J-Bet.
winning J-Day with him.
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, there you go. Inside scoop, mate. They did speak about it, or I read it somewhere in a stub article, and then no one went over it. So I'm bringing it up here now, and we'll see. We'll see because Fiji's coming up, so we'll see. Just I noticed the same thing with Tia Zabruski or whatever her name is, was who was working with this kid down here for ages, and now it seems like she's working with Jeremy and Joanne Juru. I think it's the same thing with it. A lot of the French athletes, like I know Cowley used to be working with Dog for well. Dog coached him for years, and then all of a sudden, when it was the Olympics, he kind of got pushed through the back door. So there's a lot of pushing and shaking and weird politics going on. And let's see if we can get to the bottom of it, or let's see if someone else gets to the bottom of it for us.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's a thing about not having a coach because Yago Dora's dropped his coach this year, world number one. Molly dropped her coach, world number one. Like,
Taj traveled the world with a trainer. That was it. It wasn't his coach.
yeah,
Because this guy from Cronulla was also as tough as bricks. So, like if anything really dodgy ever got and I think a lot of dodgy stuff would have been happening around the world at comps with a lot of people, weird people with fatal attractions, all sorts of crazy jealousy, guys drunk. Taj had a personal bodyguard with him. He traveled with him, but he wasn't really a coach, and he was one of the
yeah,
best surfers there was. Same with Kelly.
yeah. I mean, and Medina had his dad, but wasn't really a coach. Felipe's dad, not really a coach. So, yeah, interesting. That maybe maybe the key is to have a coach, then sack your coach, and then you world number one.
And then you're free as a wind drop. Well, the long-term forecast for Fiji is not looking good. We've got a 25-second swell apparently on the way here.
Yep.
Not tomorrow, but the Monday after.
Hurricane Erin.
Yeah, really interested to look about what that's going on. I didn't even go on the beach this week, so I might have to get a little bit paddle fit this week. It was the biggest week in the cafe history, and a man's got to work or a woman's got to work when they've got to work. So let's have a look. 25-second swell coming to Europe. It's
Yep.
not big in size, but it'll be interesting. Is this the start of the autumn already coming?
Could be.
All right. Good to speak to you, Matty, and listeners. Do yourself a favor. Watch watch Wave Hunters, Chopu,
Liquid Thunder.
Liquid
Part
Thunder.
one,
Thanks,
part two.
Matty.
Au revoir.